Hello, Dodgers fan. This is Noah, and if you're a fan of the team, you need to stay up to date with what's happening this offseason. We're seeing a lot of moves and some significant changes, and this includes even our famous farm system. Recently, the Los Angeles Dodgers said goodbye to Gavin Lux, sending him to the Cincinnati Reds. This has further reduced the number of homegrown players with the team, and now only will Smith and Andy Pages remain. The big question lingering in the air is, what's happening with our talent development system? Does it still deserve to be considered one of the best in MLB? And the moves don't stop there. There's also a big trade negotiation that could shake up MLB, involving the star Nolan Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals. Are the Dodgers going to make a bold trade to bring this elite defender to Los Angeles? The proposal includes Tony Gonsolin and Chris Taylor, and with that, our dynamic on the field could change significantly. Is it worth investing in a veteran like Arenado, or should the priority be giving space to young talents? Before we dive into all the details of these stories, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you can stay updated on all the Los Angeles Dodgers news. Your subscription is important for our community to grow even more, and you won't want to miss what's coming. Let's explore these issues together, fan, and understand what's behind these moves and what the future holds for our team. Have you ever wondered if the famous farm system of the Los Angeles Dodgers really deserves all the hype? Well, with the recent trade of Gavin Lux to the Cincinnati Reds, the Los Angeles team saw its list of homegrown position players shrink even more. Now, only two names remain, Will Smith and Andy Pages. This makes us reflect. What's going on with the Dodgers development system? And what about the pitching staff? With the departure of Walker Buehler to the Red Sox, most of the pitching roster also comes from external acquisitions, except for a few names like Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, Edgardo Enriquez, and Michael Grove. However, Grove's position on the team seems uncertain. Additionally, we have players who have already been through MLB but haven't been able to establish themselves, like James Outman, Bobby Miller, and Landon Knack. And let's not forget the high-level prospects that were traded because they failed to make a good impression in the minors or the majors, like Diego Cartaya, Michael Busch, and Miguel Vargas. What's most curious about all of this is that many of these names were once considered among the top 30 prospects in the organization. Cartaya was number 1 for 2 years in a row, and Lux was among the most promising in 2020. But over time, Cartaya was considered a failure, and Lux, if not a failure, ended up not fitting into the long-term plans in Los Angeles. Interestingly, despite these difficulties, the Dodgers farm system remains considered one of the best in MLB. Since 2017, MLB Pipeline has ranked the team among the top 5, with only 2 variations, but never below 15th place. But with so many promising prospects not meeting expectations, does this status still deserve to stand? Of course, the Dodgers have success stories. Will Smith, for example, signed a 10-year contract extension, and names like Corey Seager and Jock Peterson continue to shine. Additionally, Walker Buehler has a history of excellence, despite a tough year. But as we all know, a prospect's path is not always predictable. Some become stars, while others don't pan out. And what about when we compare Los Angeles' farm system to teams like the Detroit Tigers, who, even being a mediocre team in 2024, managed to reach the ALDS thanks to their homegrown players? This puts the Dodgers farm system in a different perspective, don't you think? The Dodgers have indeed focused on using their prospects as trade bait, looking for big external acquisitions. But still, it's hard to ignore that the few remaining prospects in the roster, like Outman and Miller, haven't yet reached the expected level. Even those who were traded, like Alex Verdugo, O'Neal Cruz, and Keibert Ruiz, are good players but not exactly stars. In 2024, MLB Pipeline ranked the Dodgers system as number 5 at the end of summer, a significant jump from its initial ranking at the start of the season. Will the team remain among the top-ranked systems in 2025, or does this reputation need reevaluation? I've been thinking a lot about what's happening with the famous Dodgers farm system. As we all know, the team has prided itself on having one of the best player development systems in MLB, but looking at the recent moves, I wonder if that reputation is still justified. The recent trade of Gavin Lux to the Cincinnati Reds is a good example of this. Lux has always been seen as a big prospect, but he ended up being traded. With that, the number of homegrown players still on the Dodgers roster has dropped significantly. Only Will Smith and Andy Pages remain. This makes us think, where are the others? Are the Dodgers really developing their young talent the way we expected? What's curious is that despite the difficulties, the Dodgers system continues to be ranked among the best in the league. In 2024, MLB Pipeline placed the team in 5th place, a solid position, but considering recent results, it might not be accurate anymore. We don't see many standout prospects who have become major stars on the big league team. We have success stories, of course, like Will Smith, but we also see many names that didn't meet expectations, like Diego Cartaya, Michael Busch, and Miguel Vargas. On the other hand, we see teams like the Detroit Tigers, who, even with a mediocre team, managed to make it to the ALDS with a farm system of homegrown players. This really changes the way we view the Dodgers farm system, doesn't it? Could the focus on big external acquisitions be sidelining the emphasis on developing homegrown talent? The Dodgers seem more inclined to use their prospects as trade pieces, looking for reinforcements in the market. This might work in the short term, but will the team be able to maintain success in the long run without investing in their own development system? The big question is, will the team continue to be seen as a powerhouse in developing new players, or does the status they currently hold need to be reevaluated? I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think about this situation? Does the Dodgers farm system still deserve to be seen as one of the best, or is it time for a new approach? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this discussion is important for all of us who are passionate about the team. The Dodgers are once again in the spotlight this offseason, and it seems they still have big moves up their sleeve before the start of the 2025 season. And you Dodgers fan, have you thought about the possibility of Nolan Arenado joining the Los Angeles team? That's right, the trade that could shake up MLB involves the star of the St. Louis Cardinals, who after a season slightly below expectations, remains one of the best defenders at his position in the league. Arenado, who is 33 years old, is an 8-time All-Star and a 10-time Gold Glove winner. Although last year was one of his toughest defensive seasons, with an OPS of only .719, he is still widely regarded as one of the best third-base defenders. For the Dodgers, who have been making strong moves in the market, this might be the chance to acquire an elite player to strengthen the roster. The proposed trade by Jim Riley, content creator at Ballcap Sports, suggested the Dodgers send pitcher Tony Gonsolin and versatile Chris Taylor to the Cardinals, along with $8.5 million in cash. It would be a bold trade, but is it worth it? What stands out in this trade is the potential move of Max Muncy to second base to make room for Arenado at third base, which would directly impact the playing time of some players, including Hye-Sung Kim. The question is, are the Dodgers willing to sacrifice playing time for younger and more promising players in exchange for a veteran like Arenado, who is nearing the end of his career? For the Dodgers, this trade could be a strategic move to bolster the defense while also strengthening the starting lineup with an established player, even if he is in decline in some areas. With a $64 million contract over the next 3 years, the Los Angeles team might benefit from its financial flexibility, as they are willing to pay the luxury tax at this time. It's impossible not to keep an eye on the Dodgers' moves this offseason, especially when a name as big as Nolan Arenado is in the mix. After all, he is one of the best third-base defenders we've ever seen. Even with an underwhelming offensive performance last season, what can't be denied is Arenado's class, a player with 10 Gold Gloves and 8 All-Star Game selections. The proposed trade involving Tony Gonsolin, Chris Taylor, and $8.5 million raises several questions. First, will Arenado's defense be enough for the Dodgers to invest in a veteran player, considering he's nearing the end of his career? The trade could significantly affect the team's dynamics, particularly in terms of playing time for players like Max Muncy and Hye-Sung Kim. This would certainly bring an important change to the team's structure. From a financial perspective, the Dodgers have the capacity to absorb the cost of Arenado's contract, which is $64 million for the next 3 years. This is something to consider, as the team isn't exactly concerned with the luxury tax at the moment. What's more interesting, though, is what the Dodgers would gain defensively. Arenado would bring solidity at third base that few players can offer, and if this is enough to ease the team's defensive concerns, it could be a good move. Now, what do you think, Dodgers fan? Is it worth risking a trade like this, sacrificing the playing time of some of the team's younger talents in exchange for a veteran like Arenado? Or do you think the Dodgers should invest more in younger, promising players? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this trade definitely has the potential to be a turning point for the Dodgers' 2025 season. So Dodgers fan, what do you think about all this? Gavin Lux's departure and the potential arrival of Nolan Arenado could really change the face of the team. We're seeing a lot of moves, and as always, the Dodgers are making strategic choices that make us question the future of our talent base. Does the farm system still hold up, or does it need a new direction? And what about the trade to bring Arenado in? Is it worth betting on a veteran with such potential, or is it better to invest in the young talents still trying to establish themselves? I'd love to know what you think about all of this. Leave your comment down below, because your opinion is so important to us. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on the Dodgers. Together, let's continue to follow our team's moves and hope that the 2025 season brings us many victories.